Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. Several U.S. media outlets have reported that President Donald Trump has approved a plan to launch a military strike on Iran, though the final decision has yet to be confirmed. The plan is said to be on hold should Tehran agree to halt its nuclear program. China tells Israel ceasefire now to avoid further escalation that could lead to disaster. Beijing called on all parties, especially Israel, to halt hostilities and prioritize regional peace. And Israel's attack on Iran unprovoked, says Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. He described the attacks were clearly intended to derail all efforts towards peaceful resolution. We begin with some local updates. Sarawak Governor Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuan Jafar received a courtesy call from Sarawak Premier Dato' Paninggitan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg at the Astana Negeri Sarawak earlier today. In a statement, Astana said the meeting was held in conjunction with the pre-cabinet session ahead of the State Cabinet meeting. In a Facebook post, the Premier presented several key matters to Tun Wan Junaidi as head of state, in line with the provisions of the Sarawak Constitution. During the meeting, Tun Wan Junaidi also shared several views with Abang Johari for the state government's consideration. Ending the post, Tun Wan Junaidi expressed gratitude that the discussions were held in a cordial and constructive atmosphere. He expressed confidence that under Abang Johari's leadership, Sarawak will continue to progress, with its people united in peace and harmony towards a prosperous and advanced Sarawak. Sarawak Metro Sendirian Berhad has received the Special Recognition Award from the Union International des Transports Publics UITP at a ceremony held recently in Hamburg, Germany. In a statement today, Sarawak Metro said the award was in acknowledgement of its effort to reduce carbon dioxide emissions through the implementation of the Kuching Urban Transportation System, KUTS.
The UITP Global Awards, which drew over 300 entries across 9 categories from participants representing 50 countries, recognize excellence in sustainable urban mobility. Sarawak Metro CEO Mazli Mustafa said the international recognition would further motivate the team to realize its vision of delivering a modern and sustainable public transport system for Kuching, which is scheduled to begin operations in 2026. Sarawak Metro is a member of UITP, which was founded in 1885 and is the only global network that brings together all public transport stakeholders and sustainable mobility modes. The UITP Summit is the premier global event for the public transport sector, attracting over 10,000 professionals, including operators, authorities, industry suppliers, and policymakers from around the world.
On to world news. Several U.S. media outlets have reported that President Donald Trump has approved a plan to launch a military strike on Iran, though the final decision has yet to be confirmed. The plan is said to be on hold should Tehran agree to halt its nuclear program. According to CBS, Trump is considering a potential attack targeting Fordo, Iran's underground uranium enrichment facility. On Wednesday, Israel launched further strikes on missile and nuclear facilities across Iran. In response, Iranian forces fired hypersonic missiles, but no serious damage was reported in Israel. Since Israel's initial strike on Iran last Friday, more than 585 people have been killed, including 239 civilians. Meanwhile, China has reiterated its opposition to the use of force following warnings from U.S. President Donald Trump that military action could be on the table amid the escalating Israel-Iran conflict. Beijing called on all parties, especially Israel, to halt hostilities and prioritize regional peace. China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiakun stressed that Beijing opposes any act that infringes upon sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity of other countries and rejects the use or threat of force in international relations.
国际社会，特别是有影响力的大国，应秉持公正立场和负责任态度，为推动停火止战、重回对话谈判创造条件。 避免地区局势滑向深渊，引发更大的灾难。
The warning comes as Israel continues its strikes against missile sites and suspected nuclear facilities across Iran. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today strongly condemned the recent Israeli airstrikes on Iranian territory, describing them as punitive and unprovoked acts that violate international law and undermine diplomatic efforts. Anwar said the Israeli attacks were clearly intended to derail ongoing talks and shatter hopes for a peaceful resolution in the region.
We have to have the courage to call on those with power and influence to speak plainly and act decisively to restrain further escalation.
He said this in his keynote address at the 38th Asia-Pacific Roundtable earlier today. Shifting focus to the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza, Anwar expressed deep concern over the relentless Israeli military campaign, calling it a tragedy that has inflicted a devastating toll on a defenseless population.
The escalating tensions between Iran and Israel are not only raising regional security concerns but also threatening economic stability across Southeast Asia. According to geostrategic expert Associate Professor Dr. Azmi Hassan, even though ASEAN member states hold different political positions on the conflict, the impact on global supply chains will be felt region-wide.
Jikalau sengketa ini berlarutan dan Iran mengambil keputusan untuk menutup Selat Hormuz ataupun Houthi Yemen mengambil keputusan untuk mengancam Red Sea ataupun Laut Merah dan Amerika Syarikat mengambil keputusan untuk menyerang Iran membantu Israel, maka rantaian bekalan makanan ekonomi akan menjadi terencat dan akan menyebabkan produk-produk menjadi mahal dan ini akan mengakibatkan kemudaratan kepada ASEAN itu sendiri, tak kira mereka menyokong belah mana.
He added that countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia and the Philippines are heavily dependent on stable global trade routes for securing food, energy and consumer goods supply. Dr. Azmi warned that prolonged conflict would only amplify the negative economic fallout, even as some ASEAN countries may be seen leaning politically towards either Iran or Israel.
Jadi dalam hal ini, tak semua mahu perang ini berpanjangan kerana negatifnya adalah lebih banyak daripada yang positifnya.
ASEAN has previously reaffirmed its commitment to peaceful resolution and a neutral approach in addressing international conflicts. However, this latest escalation in the Middle East once again put ASEAN's ability to respond collectively to cross-border challenges to the test. Welcome back. Negotiations between Malaysia and the United States over the 24% tariff imposed on Malaysian goods are currently proceeding smoothly. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said he was updated on the progress by Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz and Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan, who are currently in Washington DC leading the discussions.
This morning I received a message from our Minister of MITI and Finance, Second Finance Minister, that the meetings with the Secretary of Commerce, U.S. trade representatives has been excellent. And we always emphasize the need not only to secure what is fair for Malaysia, but we always present the case for ASEAN.
In his keynote address at the 38th Asia-Pacific Roundtable APR today, Anwar urged ASEAN member states to adopt a similar approach by asserting their positions through bilateral engagements. A total of 84 undocumented migrants, including 63 Pakistanis, 20 Indonesians and 1 Myanmar national, were picked up in a pre-dawn immigration raid in Cebu yesterday. The raid, conducted by the Sarawak Immigration Department under Ops Gar and Ops Sapu, took place between midnight and 3:30 a.m., targeting an entertainment outlet and a shophouse believed to be a hideout for undocumented migrants. Sarawak Immigration Director Abdul Halim Abang Naili said the raid followed weeks of intelligence gathering by the department's Special Task Force. Of the 110 individuals screened, 84 were found to have committed various immigration offences, including failing to produce valid travel documents, overstaying and abusing their travel or work passes. All detainees have been taken to the Immigration Detention Depot for further action. Abdul Halim assured that operations will continue statewide to safeguard national security. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms at TV Sarawak. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.